Here's how I made my travel planner. It's just a Google Sheet, so I went to Google Sheets. And you can get this travel planner for free. I'll link it in the description. But if you want to make your own, I'll show you exactly how I made mine. I'll add a title. I'll just call it Travel Planner Example. And I have it here next to me, so I'm just going to remake it. So I merged these cells. I just highlight it. I go here to merge cells. And I called this X trip. So you can just fill in wherever you're going. And then I centered this, bold, and then added some color to that. And then I wanted to put borders around this, so I just went there. Kind of separates it out. And then the first section is the tour info section. And I made that another color. So I merged all of these up until F. And I'll merge that first and then make it pink. And I called this one Tour Info, bold, and center. And then I merged A and B. And then I merged these ones. And you can format this however you want. I just thought that this looks the best. And then I can just copy that, Command C, and I made this up to row 16, and then Command V, and that pastes it. So now they're all formatted, and I can change the color here to match. And I made these yellow. And basically the yellow boxes just means that's what you fill in. And I'll also add some borders to that. And then I labeled each of these tour company, name of tour, and etc. I'm not going to fill it all in, but basically I just went like that and then centered it, and Command B is the shortcut to bold it. And that's how I did that first section. So that's that tour info section. And then for the next section, the trip info, an easy thing to do is just copy and paste. So I'll copy that and then click here and paste and fill it in with what that says. So this one is trip info. And these were start date, end date. So use copy and paste a lot. That will save you a lot of time. And then I had two more here. And I made those purple just to separate out the different sections. And then the next section is where I would fill out what to do during every day. And I made a lot of these. I went all the way up to, I think, like 30 days. I don't know if I will ever go on a trip that lasts 30 days. Maybe I will, but I just made it all the way up to day 30 because it's easier to take away than add. You don't have to go all the way up to 30, but you can if you want. I'll show you how I made this whole section. And I'll just rebuild exactly what I have here. So I'll just merge. I merged the second one in. So I went from like here over to here and then merge cell. And I'm going to make this purple just to keep track of where I am. And then I just merged these two as another line. And then these ones. And then this one, the whole thing was merged. So we'll start with that. I did, first line is drive to X. And I actually did a bullet point there. Let's see if I can remember how I did that. Option 8. Oh, that's how you do it. I just Googled that. Okay. The next one is drive duration. Option 8. Drive duration. Oh, this was yellow. Airport transportation info. And now I'll add borders. I actually need to bold these. And oh, I need to move over drive duration. So I need to indent that. I'll just do like a couple spaces till it looks good. And then I basically just kept doing that. I kept doing that until I filled all of this in. And I'll show you how I made this side section here. So to remove these grid lines, there's kind of a trick without merging them. If you highlight them all and then make the grid lines all borders and make it the same color as the background, then the grid lines go away. But you can still type into each specific box. So that's how I made these all on 3 different boxes, or the illusion. So I can do like day 1 here, day of the week, etc. And location. And then I bolded it, Command B, and centered. And since that doesn't really fit, I think I expanded this column A a little bit. Yeah, I made that more like that. And then to close this out, I just need to make these borders black. Alright, and that's how I made the first page, which I called the itinerary page. So I'll rename that. Itinerary. And now I'll move on to the next page. And the next one was the rental house info page, which is this one. You actually already know how to make this. It's just the same thing. I merged the cells and changed the colors. The only thing that's a little bit different on this page is making these check boxes. So I'll show you how I made that. So to make that, I'll add the sheet, call it, rename it, the rental house page, and I merged all the way up to there. And then I merged these ones in the middle. And these two on the side. And now I can copy and paste. That's the fastest way to do it. And I'll just go up to like there. And I'll add borders. Call it activity ideas. Center. Oops. Bold. And this one was the status. Description, website. And then all you have to do to add the checkbox is just go to Insert and Checkbox here. And Command C, copy, Command V, paste. And that's how you get a checkbox. So that's that page. And then next page is the expenses page. And I made this the same way. The only thing that's different is this category section, so I'll show you how I made that. I'm just going to copy all this. This one is expenses. Command V, paste it. Oh, for this one, I didn't merge the cells, I just expanded them. It really just depends on what else you're putting in the document. Expanding them like this is obviously easier, but it could mess up the formatting of like content that's lower in the document. So that's why merging, I think, is the best, because it doesn't mess up any other formatting of the sheet. But for this one, this is all that's going to be on it. I know I'm not really doing anything below it, so I can expand these out. So that's the easy way. And now I'll show you how I made these categories with all these drop downs. So to do that, all I did was I went up here to Insert and Drop Down. And then on the right here, I could add the different options. So I had tour and flights. And accommodation, transportation. Activities. And I'll make them all different colors. And now when I click on it, there are all the different colors. And another thing that's good to know about is how to make a chart, like a pie chart, out of all of that information. So if you're filling out expenses, you're probably going to want to see a visual of where a lot of the expenses are going. If most of the trip expenses are going to flights, you can kind of make a visual for that, and I'll show you how to make it. Oh, and then I have the total here on the bottom, so I'll add that. So there, adding the borders, color, total, bold, and then these are all going to be amounts. So I'll make it currency here, highlight all those and just click that currency. So when I do like a 0 there, it goes to $0. And then here, to sum that column, I just click on it and go here to this functions and just click on sum, and then highlight what I want to all be summed together, which are those 3, and then hit return, and that totals it. So say for example, this one, $10, I'll just add different amounts in each. And I'll add one more actually. Just for example. And to apply all this to all these other ones, I would just click on it and Command C to copy and Command V to paste. Now they're all the same. Alright, now to make a pie chart out of all of those, I'll add a category to each one, so I'll make that one the tour, flights, accommodation, transportation. Actually, I'll add one more. Because I want to show you what happens when you make 2 of the same ones. So I can make them combine. So I'll do that one, accommodation, as well. Just make that purple. Okay. Alright, so then to make a pie chart out of that, I'm just going to highlight what I want to be made into a pie chart, and then go up here to Insert Chart. And I don't want it to be columns, so I'm going to change this down to pie. And I'll move this down here. And now I can see a visual of all the different expenses. And as you can see here, the accommodation are 2 different slices, but I would want to combine those into one. I think I just click this aggregate button. Yeah. And now that combined everything that's under the same category into the same slice on the pie. So I'll actually go back, I'll edit that, see if there's anything else to show you. You can customize it, change the colors. You can make each slice a different color. So say I wanted to make tour pink, I could do that. And flights, all different colors. Do like blue or something. And yeah, so there's a lot of options to customize it, and you can make it look however you want. Change the title here. You can take it out. You could add a label, add the value or percentage into it. So there's a lot of options. Just kind of click around and see if there's anything you want to change. And that's how I made the expenses tab. And then the next tab is the packing list. So it looks like this. Just has those check boxes with some merged cells. So you guys know how to do that. So we can skip over that one. And the next tab is the map of the US. So I'll show you how I made that. I just made these two columns. Kind of put them lower here. Make those bigger. And you can make that 50 lines. I'm just doing like 10, just to show you as an example. And I called that, I called one states and days in state. And then bold center. And that was all I did. And now I would just highlight everything here and then insert chart and scroll down to map. And I think I have to put in some values here to change it. So let me type like New Jersey and 1, Florida 2, California 3. Now when I highlight it, I should be able to change it to, oops, I want it to be a map, customize. Yeah, now I can change it to from the world to North America or United States. So I'll click on that. I'll delete this other one. And I can move this up. I'll actually move this down. So I can make this bigger. And now I have a map of the United States. And you can change those colors too, which I'll do. So customize. And then under this geo thing, I can change that to, I can make everything pink. The minimum, the smaller numbers, one shade. Then you can make the middle size numbers a different shade. Like say I wanted to make the states that I went to the least often in pink, and the ones that I went to the most, the max, I could do like, I don't know, blue or something, just to see contrast. But I actually like to just keep everything the same color, but you can make this chart however you want. And then to make the world map, I did the exact same thing. So it's the exact same step, but instead of states, I just call it country and times visited instead of days in state. I'll just do the same thing again. World map. And I'll copy that to make it easier. Country. Times visited. And I'll just say like, I don't know, Mexico, Italy, Canada. And then I would highlight it and insert chart, go to map, and there it is. And the same thing, I'll want to change the colors on that. You can choose whatever colors you want. And that's how you can keep track of all the different countries that you've been to. And that's how I made my travel planner. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. And for all of the other videos in this series, check out the playlist linked in the description below. And I'll see you next week.